No.
Anytime now the countdown will end and I can talk. Welcome to St. Augustine this evening, the Mike Davis Show.
That's true.
I can tell you're getting older.
Yes.
Not because of anything other than you can't see the small numbers on the screen, which I didn't even know were there.
Yes.
So for me, that's
I've been sitting in that seat a lot.
Yeah.
And I can see it better in that seat.
You tell me where they are. So we have the smallest screen possible for us to look at from here.
That way there's no lag on the audio and the video.
It's awesome because there's no lag on the audio and the video. But for those of us that have older eyes, even with the readers, it's a bit difficult to see all of that.
It's challenging.
I think I need binoculars.
Yeah.
I might need binoculars.
I can see the white numbers just fine. Because if you see on the blue screen to the left, there's like 3 different sets of numbers. Like I can see that those are all zeros, then it's 42, then it's 42. I can see the white numbers just fine. But in the last 10 seconds of the countdown, it goes red.
So as an ophthalmologist or optometrist, I would simply tell you I can't read that line. I can't read that.
It's the little bitty line.
I am not going to be able to get that line. No way, no how.
Yeah.
No, can't do it. Binoculars would help.
Yeah.
But it would look so weird if you came on the show and I was sitting with binoculars.
Do the thing from Home Improvement.
Is that why does
Wilson?
Pete have like magnifying glasses in his sunglasses?
Those might be binoculars.
That's what he's doing.
They could be bifocals. He could just be getting old.
I love him now. I love it.
It's funny.
Anyway, we have all kinds of news for you. Apparently, this is the first show of the day on the network.
Yes.
Well,
turns out
we're here for you. And just as a complete shout out, one person worked their tail off on Saturday at Florida Man games and came to work today. That person is not a man. So I'll let you figure out which staff member of the 904 Now was able to go to work on Saturday and show up and do their job on Monday, but it darn sure wasn't a dude.
Well,
is that called mansplaining?
No
Did I just
comment.
mansplain that to somebody? I just want to make sure. Okay.
You man something.
All right, let's make some money before I have to mansplain some more.
All right.
Solar Stick, they were established in 2006. They're a local portable power company proudly committed to American manufacturing, constant innovation, and creating jobs right here in St. Augustine, Florida. Solar Stick's focus on providing solutions for self-sufficiency helps users all over the world complete missions and save lives. Solar Stick, changing lives, saving lives, and reviving American manufacturing right here in the nation's oldest city.
Yeah, they are. The team at South State Bank is a group of bankers you can count on. Their approach to building long-term relationships with their customers is the best in the business. If you're looking for a banking relationship you can depend on, check out South State Bank. They've got 3 locations to serve you in St. Augustine: State Road 312, State Road 16, or the beach. You could also visit them online at southstatebank.com. They are a member FDIC. All right, we've got Swan Lake. Save your seats for Swan Lake by Dance Alive Nation. I said sound off twice before we started. Dance Alive National Ballet. This is Saturday, March 8th at 7:30 p.m. at Lewis Auditorium in Flagler College, 14 Granada Street. That's downtown St. Augustine, folks. Your $40 ticket gets you free parking at the St. Johns County Council on Aging with a complimentary shuttle to and from the venue. Students and children are $5 per ticket. This is for Emma Concerts. Everybody get your ticket today.
All right, and Salomon Services. They are the premier place for personal training in St. Augustine. They've got a state-of-the-art facility with both indoor and outdoor turf areas, and all of their coaches are certified through the National Strength and Conditioning Association. If you're trying to get in better shape, if you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to get stronger, you're trying to get faster, you're trying to get better at a sport that you're tired of your friends being better than you, Salomon Services is the place to go. They got great classes. They got group classes, individual classes. I'm there twice a week. Love it. Love the camaraderie with the folks in there. And like I said, the coaches are phenomenal. Give them a call, 904-461-9945.
Absolutely.
All right. And the Bozard Ford Community Update. This is like a lot.
It's a lot.
I mean, we're really old, right? As a city.
St. Augustine
is
personally.
really, really old. 450 years old plus.
Yeah. Plus.
But when you come up with something that's the 142nd annual,
Yeah.
you go, wow, that's a lot.
We like our annual events.
You have to go back and do the math and tell me what year this started. It had to be like the 1880s.
Let's
The
see.
142nd annual spring fair at the St. Ambrose Catholic Church is March the 30th. It's noon till 4 p.m. They have all kinds of great things out there. Great ways to win money. They got a 50-50 drawing. They have classic cars, reenactors, a reserve raffle for a reverse raffle for a $10,000 prize, and more. All kinds of great things. The St. Ambrose Catholic Church Fair, the 142nd annual.
1883.
I figured 1880s, right? I was somewhere close in there. So
Yep.
yes, not bad for doing math backwards on a
You did.
Monday.
You did pretty good.
All right. There's all kinds of things that I did on Thursday and Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, you were a busy man.
But none of those, even though I was a designated survivor
Yeah.
for the 904 Now network,
Mm-hmm.
and I may have violated the rules of being a designated survivor, which I'll explain later.
Snuck in.
Maybe not. But we had somebody on our staff sneak in, undercover, work the entire event so they could tell us everything about it and how amazing. She even snuck out with merch she may or may not have paid for.
I got my convict shirt. I didn't have to. I paid for this with my blood, sweat, and tears.
Yes.
Lots of the tears won.
Did you win the alligator in the mud wrestling contest?
These were part of my outfit, the
Okay.
earrings
Yes.
and the alligators. I went very animal friendly with my accessories for the
Yes.
Florida Man Games, mostly because Troy said he was going to wear alligators somewhere on his outfit. So
Yes.
I needed to show him mine.
Uh-huh.
So that's how I greeted Troy at
Got
the
it.
Florida Man Games.
Troy
which
is
seems
still
fitting.
number one in Amanda's heart.
100.
Number one.
100%. Yeah. So it was.
I'm sorry. For Florida Man Games,
Uh-huh.
the ring should have been a pull beer top, rolled around and made into a ring. I'm sorry if that's way too fancy.
It's
It's
very
colorful.
fancy.
It's attractive. It's glitzy. It's great.
This- I got
But a
so many
beer
compliments.
pop top wrapped into a ring.
I got so many
I bet
compliments
you
on my
did.
alligator. People like straight up
did.
stopped me just to talk to me about my alligator. It's $15 on Amazon.
They're probably sold out today.
Maybe.
So you showed up early to
Uh-huh.
do parking?
I showed up early
Crack
for
of dawn.
volunteering. I didn't know what job I was doing. I just knew that I was volunteering. So I got there, and as I was trying to figure out with Ashley what my job was going to be, Tim rolled up on the most souped up, or not Tim, Pete rolled up on the most souped up golf cart that you have ever seen. That thing probably hit 50.
Yes.
Yeah, cloud of dust and
Does he
Pete
even have a
Mulvey.
driver's license? I'm just asking.
I didn't card him.
Okay, I didn't know.
And so
It's Florida Man Games. You're not supposed to have a driver's license. Is the answer?
100% true.
Yes.
So I'm like, hey, Pete, what do you need me to do? And he's like, you're on game tickets, as if I knew that. Like, oh, okay.
Oh.
He's like, you're going to come with me. You're going to do game tickets. All right. So I hop in and takes off. He almost throws me out in the process because that thing was fast.
Yes.
So I get left at a table with a sign with flags that said game tickets. No explanation for what I'm doing.
Yeah.
None. And I've got to go get your Clover. Okay. I don't even know what a Clover is at this point. And that's a credit card device.
Oh.
It's like, so I could take credit cards.
Okay.
I had a cash box, but then they took it away from me because they needed it at the bar, I guess. I don't know.
So there was more money being exchanged at the bar than there was at the game tickets?
Well, I had a bin full of the tickets that I was selling,
Yeah.
which Kizzy was amazing, and she tore them into 10 ticket segments, which made my life so much easier
Who was
because we
this?
sold them. She runs Lux Japanese Head Spa. She's amazing,
Okay.
Kizzy. She is fantastic. She was there. So if I didn't know the answer to a question, I text Tim, Ashley, Clay, and Kizzy all at the same time. One of you will answer me.
Was that group text named question mark, question mark, question mark? Florida Man
didn't-
Games?
I didn't group text them.
Yes.
I copied and pasted an individual text.
Ah,
so they
okay.
didn't know someone else was working on it. Because if it's in a group text, then it'll be like somebody else will answer it. I don't need to.
See, that's not the way I do
It's
group text. I
strategic.
answer the group
It's
text because of my
strategic.
age. Because I'm so old, I answer the group text. I think it's urgent or important.
It was, so there was a lot that was going on. And so with a little bit of reconnaissance, I actually figured out what my job was.
Mm-hmm.
Had to figure out how to use a Clover device. So that was fun. Got it figured out well enough that I could train a teenager because like I can hand out tickets a lot faster than going through some sort of tablet-y device.
Yeah.
But the 15-year-old sitting next to me, she could run that thing like crazy. So she took
Was this
everybody's
your
money.
daughter?
No.
There
was another mother-daughter that
Okay.
were assigned to my table with me.
Mhm.
And so the mother was taking cash, the daughter was taking credit cards, and I was handing out tickets. We got it sorted.
Okay.
And then we had another volunteer that we kept sending out to do reconnaissance. So she was our spy.
Cool.
If there was a question and we didn't have an answer, and nobody was answering the text, then we just sent her.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
And it worked out
we
good.
figured it out.
But you were in the shade.
Mhm.
You weren't in the heat in the stands.
I actually put sunscreen on this year, so I'm not burned.
Did you work all day?
I worked until 4 or 5. Yeah. So
4 or 5.
I was
Florida
there,
man term for telling time.
7
Sometime late afternoon, she went home.
Yeah.
4 or
I'm
5.
trying to think when 4 or 5.
Mm.
I think it was about 4:45 when I officially got in my car and left.
Yes.
So yeah, it was a wild day.
Awesome.
I was there 8ish. Something like that. 8:30.
I was coming back from Tampa.
Yeah, you drove past.
And I drove past it probably about 4:30.
Yeah.
Roughly right about then. And it was packed.
Yeah.
And I was so happy for Pete.
Yeah.
I was about to run out of gas. And so I needed to get.
So you did not stop.
I did not stop. I did not stop. I didn't want to get caught up in any traffic
Yep.
with everyone leaving. But it looked amazing. Thrilled for Pete. I did reach out and call him today.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you have talked to Pete today.
I haven't talked to Pete since Florida Man Games. I saw him before everything started. I talked to him a few times before things got started. And then I did not speak to him again until still at this point.
So those of you that haven't talked to Pete,
Is he hoarse?
well, there was an episode on the Brady Bunch where Bobby Brady loses his voice, right? His
Yeah.
voice is changing, right?
Mhm.
Well, Pete's going the opposite way. So it sounded like 13-year-old Pete answered the phone because it was really high pitched. There was no depth. He completely lost it.
Florida Man
Raspy.
Games. Reverse puberty.
It just, I guess he drank the water from Ponce de Leon's well and he's getting younger. I told him, I said, if I didn't know better, like if you called me to ask for a favor right now, I would think this is a really bad AI
Mhm.
chat bot, trying to pretend to be you. And
Yeah.
he just started laughing. So I was really happy for him. Said it really went great. Everyone worked their tails off. I think it's just amazing.
Yeah,
So,
the games tickets was the first half of my day.
Yeah.
And then that was shift change.
Mhm.
And so I was kind of loosely assigned. I just knew I was volunteering. So it was pretty much like where you need me, I'll keep working.
Yeah.
So after I got some pizza, then it was where do you need me? So Davey and I got
Hang on. This better be a lot lizard story or
Yes.
Davey's not
Davey
coming
and
in
I-
tomorrow.
Davey and I got assigned to the entrance of the VIP parking. So we were the glorified signs
Mm-hmm.
to be like, are you a vendor or VIP? You come in here. That's how I know that I missed you because you did not come to my spot
No.
when I was
No.
with Davey, the amazing Davey. He has energy everywhere he goes.
Yep.
I'm telling you. Like, it's not just in the studio because he's forced to sit still.
Mhm.
Like, before I would even notice a car was coming, he was halfway in the road. Like,
Yes.
he's on it and he's there. And we had some very funny and friendly encounters. We had some really aggressive encounters.
Really?
Yeah. There was a dude that was so mad that we wouldn't let him into VIP when he wasn't a VIP that he spun out his tires and tried to throw gravel on us.
That's not how VIP works.
No.
That is how Florida Man responds to not being in VIP.
Yes.
So in his defense, he was doing the Florida Man thing.
Well, he got all the way down to the parking after trying to maim us with gravel, and he immediately turned around. So I guess he missed the 40 signs that said parking was going to be $20, but he left an unsatisfied customer.
He didn't go to the games.
He didn't go.
He didn't want to go to the games. If
No.
you had that kind of attitude, you didn't
No,
want
you're
to
not
go
there
to the
for a
games.
good time. You're there
you
for a
were
short
there-
time.
You were there looking for trouble. That's
Yes.
what you were there for.
So Kenny and Dina were at the parking lot.
Mhm.
And so at lunch, it was Kenny and Dina are supposed to be where I started my day.
Yep.
And so we swapped. And they got a break from the very aggressive interactions with the public because everyone was much nicer at the game ticket booth. And it was much shadier. And you got to see the Megatron or the Jumbotron so you could watch what was happening. So they got to finish their day where I started. I'm not going to lie, Kenny. I was like, I'll go back to game tickets. It's fine. It's fine. And Ashley was like, no, you're going to the parking lot. And I got to meet Sherry and her husband. And they were hilarious because Sherry's talking to me. And her husband turns around and he looks at me and he's like, you're the one that always answers 69.
It's nice to be known
I'm
for your
known for
genius.
something.
It's nice to be known for your answers on trivia.
Well, did we get a kickback from Florida Man Game Profits? Because I inspired the jerseys.
What jerseys did you inspire?
All the team jerseys, all the
Yes.
people that were competing.
Yes.
You know how jerseys have numbers on the back?
Yes.
All of them were 69, which is the right answer. I inspired the jerseys. I mean,
I
we,
have not.
we deserve a kickback.
I've not had the final accounting with Mr. Melfi, but I will let him know that we do feel like our show has provided
How
more
Amanda got fired from the
answers. I don't know how you can do that. We're the only ones that show up to work anymore. Unlike Doge, we actually are showing up. If we did Doge on the 904 now, everybody else would be in trouble.
Oh, I can send out my email.
We should send out a Doge
can
email
answer my
to
5
ask them the 5 things that they did last week on air.
Should we rename the 5 questions on Mondays to Doge?
We might need to rename to Doge, the 5 Doge questions instead of 5 questions on Monday.
So Bobby says I was his source of information at the Florida Man Games. He was on trash duty, so he got a golf cart and a box of trash bags, and he was sent around to keep the trash cans not overflowing, and he did an amazing job. He also helped Barbara Jean find her spot, I think. He was picking up people that needed to get where they were going. He gave me a ride a couple of times, which I greatly appreciated. But I also had to talk to the police officer who was like,
Okay, wait. What happened before you had to talk to the police officer?
So
You always got to get start in the middle of the story. Something
police
had to have
officers
happened before.
talking to Pete, like
Yes.
catches Pete right before Pete's about
In
to go
handcuffs?
out. Like, I got to talk to you. There's a traffic jam on 207. We got to get this rerouted. We got to get this reorganized. And I was like, hey, do you need me to make a phone call for you? And Pete's like, yeah, she'll handle it. And he runs off. And I'm left with 2 very frustrated police officers. And so
Sheriff's deputies?
I believe so.
Okay.
So I call Tim because if I don't know the answer and Pete's not answering, then I call Tim
Call
Gauze.
Tim, yes.
So I call Tim Gauze and I'm like, these guys want to do something about the traffic flow
Yes.
and I don't have an answer. So can you talk to him? He's like, yeah, if you hand them the phone. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So my phone is now to the police officer. And I was pretty much like, I'm not officially a part of this. The only benefit I am to you is that I know everyone's phone number.
So you went.
So he took my phone number in case he needed to talk
So
to
you
anybody.
went Sergeant Schultz.
I know nothing.
I know nothing. Yeah, I'm in charge. What do you know? I know nothing. Here's my phone. Here's a guy who knows something.
I know
a
the people
guy who
that
knows
can
a
answer
guy.
your questions.
Oh,
so
my
He
gosh.
took my number in case he needed to be able to talk to someone that was important.
Nothing. Oh, that's just beautiful.
Yes.
Event was good.
Event was great as far as I saw. Like I said, I was briefly in front of the Jumbotron. I was unofficial staff very briefly because there was like a switch out with the microphones, and the ones that got replaced with Clay's microphones didn't have the same kind of range. So then an antenna had to be held up, but Clay also had to do other stuff. And so I had to find Clay and hold up an antenna. So I was tech for about 10 minutes during the lawnmower race.
You were best boy or grip. I don't know which one you were because I don't know what that means.
I held up an antenna.
But you were either best boy or grip.
And there were people in the crowd like, I can work on the crew. I can do that job. I'm like, yes, but you were not asked.
You were not asked. 'Cause
You
you're
were not
wearing,
asked.
You don't have the alligator necklace. No, I think that's awesome. I think that's really, really cool. Pete said there was lots of great media. AP basically streamed almost all day long.
Yeah.
Said the numbers are really good. So yeah,
Mhm.
I'm just so happy. I know how hard he worked to get this done.
Yes.
And so he's really, really proud of Pete.
Oh, I forgot to grab it. I got you a major media badge. Florida Man Games major media badge. It's in my van.
Is it good for next year?
Probably not. Because they changed. Well, the main logo stays the same. So maybe. Who knows?
I'm just going to wing it anyway if I'm not the designated survivor again next year.
I heard it's going to be in Key West next year.
You guys are just trying to get me to go to Key West. So
I'm
I'm
just
not around
starting
for the
a rumor.
weekend. You just want me completely out of town so that I'm not at the event. I know what's going on,
I'm
Amanda.
shamelessly starting a rumor.
I know what's going on.
I need Mike Davis to go to Florida Man Games.
Oh.
It's crazy. I'm sitting next to a 15-year-old and her mother, and there's 2,000 people chanting, "Eat that butt, eat that butt." Do you know how uncomfortable it is to sit next to a child and their parent while people at 10 a.m. are screaming, "Eat that butt"?
This is going to be a
That is
horrible joke, but I
interesting.
have to make it in. Are you sure this wasn't something that was left over from a Diddy party?
There was a Diddy-inspired obstacle
Okay.
this year.
All right.
Someone had to go out and buy lots and lots of baby oil. I heard that was
Oh,
a
man.
hilarious
No.
interaction.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I would have Amazon that.
Yeah.
There's zero chance you're getting me to go buy 1,000 bottles of baby
No.
oil
No.
for a job.
No.
Baby. I'm not doing that.
Mm-mm.
I once had to buy like 200 rolls of
No.
toilet paper from Walmart as a 16-year-old because the restaurant ran out of toilet paper. And rather
so many
than
jokes.
So
many jokes.
they send the 16-year-old girl out to get toilet paper. So like, you know how things are
Taco Bell doesn't
embarrassing.
supply their own toilet paper?
It was TGI Fridays.
Ah,
and
okay.
the manager was on vacation and hadn't pre-ordered paper goods.
That
And
will do
so,
it. That
yeah.
will do it.
Yeah.
Worried about vacation more than the
So,
paper goods.
Yeah. Someone went back to Backstock to open a case of toilet paper, and there was just a big gaping hole where the toilet paper should be. So there was lots of angry gaping holes that were not getting serviced properly. So I got to buy, I don't even remember. It was as much as would, like they just handed me a wad of cash and
Yes.
buy as much as this will buy. It was crazy.
Cool.
It was a wild day.
That was a good day. I'm very, very happy. Like I said, everybody that volunteered, thank you for helping Pete. Thank you for
Yes.
helping Florida Man Games out. You guys are amazing. And what a great crew.
It was a good
Just
crew.
a super good crew.
The Jimmy Jam crew was there and they were amazing. Tim and
Was young
Ashley
Troy working?
and Dina. Young Troy, yes, he was there. He was on Clay's crew. So he was on one of the stages running the board.
Good. I don't
And-
want him going anywhere.
Troy was there. Troy and Clay both had their e-bikes. So Clay was e-biking from one thing to the next, putting out fires. And Troy was, shaking babies and kissing hands on his e-bike. It was good.
I am sure that he was.
I got to use the Lovely Loos.
Aren't they awesome?
They are awesome.
Have you ever used one before?
Yes, they're at the amphitheater.
They're at
weren't
the
they?
amp,
Yeah.
yes.
So I've used them at the amphitheater, and they were at Florida Man Games last year. But I know more about Lovely Lou's
Mhm.
and the company now, so they were very nice.
Bo Strange and his company are awesome.
Mhm.
Absolutely
They were
awesome.
fantastic.
I felt really bad. Pete called me Thursday. I was going out of town Thursday,
Yep.
literally like an hour before I was supposed to leave for town, and had a couple of crises erupt all at one time. And he's like, "I need somebody to go get a trailer and pick up the beer.
Yeah.
And I need a ball bumper." And I'm like, "What? I need a ball bumper." I'm
ball
like,
bumper?
Okay.
In the context of Florida Man Games, that could mean so many things.
I wanted to help, but I didn't know if I wanted to help. I was like, I need to know more context about this, about what
Yeah.
I'm volunteering for.
Mhm.
And I said, what do I got to do? You got to pick up a truck. I got to pick up a truck. Well, won't the truck drive itself? Why do I need the ball bumper for the truck? Oh no, it's a trailer. Okay, well then it's a trailer hitch. So I got that, right? Now I understand what that is, but I just couldn't get to and from where you needed me to go.
Uh-huh.
And the sad thing was it was to pick up beer. In my younger days, I just was like, hey, I got to cancel everything this afternoon. I'm picking up beer. And
Yeah.
once it was loaded in the trailer, I'm not sure that I would have made it to Florida Man Games. There might have been a call to Pete of like, I have the beer. I have your trailer. I'm at an undisclosed location. If you would like it, I want to kick back off those 69 shirts.
Right? Almost there.
I know.
So is that what that text message was about? I thought you were asking me to get beer.
Yes.
I was so confused. Like, am I buying the crew beer? Like,
No.
are they about to riot unless
I
they get a
reached
cold
out
one?
to everybody that I was
Yeah.
like, who do I know that? And I only had one guy on my whole crew that maybe was going to have a day like that.
Mhm.
But his day went sideways about the same time mine did on Thursday. So I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, never mind. I just had to punt it back to Pete, which I felt horrible.
Yeah.
I was like, I finally got the call and I whiffed.
You whipped
So
it.
I whiffed. I just didn't get it done.
We were trying to help you make up for the fact that you were born in Maryland, and you did the most Maryland thing you could.
I did the Maryland thing.
And you crab walked out of that situation.
I said, but I have crab cakes. I can bring those.
I got some Old Bay.
Oh, gosh. I felt horrible.
I love you, Mike.
I know. I did feel bad.
Yeah.
Right. So Thursday, I went down to Lakeland, got to spend time with in-laws. Friday,
That's awesome.
The fraternity that I was in at Florida Southern, a couple of the guys started a golf tournament 34 years ago. So
It's not quite
it's
142.
not 142, but we weren't alive
Close.
142 years ago. The church was. So
You weren't?
Kudos to them. So we show up down there. There's 53 people playing this year,
Nice.
which is the largest crowd we've ever had.
Mhm.
And then I look at the player pairings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, no, don't know them, don't know them, don't know them, don't know them. So there's so many younger alumni
Mhm.
that are now old enough to go play, right? That they can
Yeah.
get away for a day, go drink and play golf with their college buddies again. And there's 12 people
Yeah.
that I went to school with or around out of
Mhm.
the 53. And we had a great time. It's really, really fun. The bad thing is I was in the first group to tee off.
Yeah.
So if you've ever watched the Masters, have you ever watched the Masters?
No.
So they have the oldest Masters champions tee off
They get
on
to go
Thursday
first?
morning.
All right.
They just tee off and then they're done. Right? They're like the old champions that can't play
Yeah.
a round of 18 anymore. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if I hang around long enough, that's going to be me at my own college golf tournament. And then leaving, I was walking back. My in-laws live like a mile away from the golf course. I was walking back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was the fourth oldest guy at this event. I was like, I'm not 60 yet,
It's legacy. You're
but
the
I was
legacy
the
guy.
fourth oldest guy at the golf tournament,
Nice.
and only by like 20 days.
Yeah.
One of the guys I know, because his birthday's in late June,
Yeah.
and they changed the drinking age when we were 18 going on 19 to June 30th
Yeah.
of 1985. So I missed being legal by 19 days. He made it by like 3 days. So I was like, yeah, you deserve to be on that old man podium.
Yeah.
So I didn't make the podium where the oldest three stood, but I was
Mhm.
next to it. And that still was unsettling. So I'm going to recruit older guys to play next year. I'm going to make
Yeah.
sure there's a few more old guys that show up and play. And yeah.
So you have more people to tee off with.
Yes. More people to tee off with.
You're
But-
very tan.
Thank you.
It shocks me how fast you tan.
I had a good time playing golf. It was a lot of fun. I did sunscreen up for those of you that.
I did sunscreen up as well, but I guess my alligator rubbed it off. So when I was getting showered up after Florida Man games, I had 2 red spots
Yes.
where I was sunburned when I went to sleep, and by the
Mhm.
time I woke up, they were gone. So
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yes.
Last year I was fried.
Yeah.
Like I was fried,
Mhm.
and
Okay.
it was bad for days. But I was smarter this year.
No.
Sunscreen, it works.
I'm one of those surfers. Then I'm one of those guys. I buy really expensive sunscreen because I don't like some of the stuff that's in the
Mhm.
more popular brands.
Yeah.
I don't know that if you're wearing it if like once a week, that's probably not that big a deal.
Yeah.
But if you're wearing it every single day and you're surfing 6-7 days in a row, it's
Yeah.
not. I don't think it's good for you. So.
Yeah, I used the sun bum that I got
Mhm.
in the Task Force Hydro One
Yes.
basket we won at the silent auction.
Yes.
I've been squirreling it away because everyone makes fun of me in my house because
Mhm.
I'm the only just white girl in my house or white
You
person.
literally are
I'm
the token.
the only.
You're the token in your family. Just
Yes.
admit it.
Yeah.
Everyone else is cool,
Yes,
and you're a token.
I bred myself into the minority in my own household, and they all make fun of me. They all make fun of me. So they couldn't wait to find out where I was sunburned this year because I don't know if they take bets on it or what, but they think it's hilarious.
You have some of the fairest skin for somebody who's not a redhead that I know.
Yes.
Don't mean that. I mean,
I do. I'm inside most of my life. When Louis met me, I worked at Marineland
Yes.
and I looked ethnic aside from like the blonde hair. I was so dark. It took 18 months for my tan to fade.
Louie on the phone.
Louie didn't know
Mom,
that I wasn't
I've
a
met
blonde.
this girl. I'm
That was-
sure
yeah.
she's from Central or South America. I can't wait for you to meet her.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Way to go. Well done.
So it takes me like working 40 hours a week outside
Yeah.
to tan. Like that's what it takes.
Not that long.
I don't do that.
No.
No, like I have to have a 40-hour a week job
Mhm.
every day. I have to be out there at least 8 hours in order to tan. I get a little bit of tan doing sun duty or pool duty during the summer.
Yep.
But because my kids are on swim, but that's about it.
I have to ask about a rumor about Florida Man Games.
Mm-hmm.
So the rumor I heard is you guys were collecting so much money that when you deposited it, the Federal Reserve thought that they could make a payment on the national debt. Did you collect that much?
So again, I didn't have a cash, but they gave me a cash box. They took it away.
Yep.
So then people were just like throwing cash at us because they didn't want to pay for game tickets with credit cards on the
Yes.
Clover that I had to train myself on. And so Keezy brought me a fanny pack, right?
Yep.
Because she and her husband were selling like beer helmets and fanny packs.
Yep.
It's a literal belly bag. It looks like a fuzzy beer belly. And so on the table,
Mhm.
we had a bulging beer belly full of cash.
Oh, God.
And then we had a whole stack of
Like
tickets and a Clover.
I fully get that. I was the treasurer for Little League
Mhm.
a couple of years, and they would do these softball tournaments over a weekend. And I would have to go periodically during the day to pick up the cash from the concession stand. And they could do 15, 20,000 in a weekend.
Yeah.
And you're picking up $5,000 and $7,000 in cash, and
Mhm.
you're having to get to your truck. You don't know anybody else. There's a few locals there, but most everyone else there, you don't know them. They don't know you.
Yeah.
It's like, I just need to get to my truck, and then I need to get out of here. and
I'm surrounded.
Like, constantly
Yeah.
looking around to make sure nobody's following me. But yeah, it was crazy the amount of cash that went there. I would assume most people were using the Square or the whatever you call it.
Most people for the game tickets, most people were using cash.
Really?
Yeah.
I love
so
Florida
I
men
thought-
and women.
I thought we were like big timing because we had, like $300, $400. Well, I guess it had to have been closer to 500 because we needed change. And so she hands me the big bills and I'm like going to the bar, seeing if I can, swap this out in the tip jar or whatever.
Yeah.
Their cash box, holy hell, Florida people drink
Yes.
and they pay in cash.
So
There was so much cash in that cash box. I was like, holy crap.
you have to wonder how many husbands are like, yeah, I'm just going golfing or fishing with my friends, and then ended up at Florida Man
Very
Games.
uncomfortable when I
And
have
did-
that much cash in
Yeah,
my
no,
hands.
No.
It's a lot.
Well, there was probably security there for all of that. I am sure.
There were
Peter-
so many police officers,
Yes.
which was hilarious because one of the major sponsors was like a weed dispensary. So Pete keeps like bigging up the like title sponsor. Go to, I think it's Cure Life. Go to Cure Life and roll a J. And there's just police officers everywhere. And I'm like,
As
this feels like a
Troy-
trap.
as Troy
Very uncomfortable right now.
As Troy Blevins would say, a lot of people have glaucoma.
Yes.
So
There's a lot of glaucoma. in that
Bobby
crowd.
asked, who is more translucent, Amanda or Troy?
Is
Troy.
Amanda. Is Amanda
Nah.
is more
You
translucent.
seen Troy take off his hat?
Yes.
It's not pretty.
But his face is more tan than mine.
Well, you can't tell anymore because he's got that moss growing at the bottom of it.
It's me.
It's just the moss at the
I
bottom.
promise it's me.
Yeah.
I swear I wore more sunscreen than he did on Saturday.
Yes. Oh, man. Bobby went up to... I don't know what that means. You're going to have
He
to
walked up to
translate.
the cop
Okay.
going by with his bowl and stopped him because he was the one cop chasing.
Okay.
Yes. I'm telling you, it was wild. People had like, you know how you have inflatable things at fairs, like an
Yes.
inflatable alien or a little inflatable like unicorn. There was inflatable joints. People are walking around taking selfies in front of the
Yeah.
step and repeat for Florida Man Games with these like giant inflatable
Oh,
joints. I was
gosh.
like, where am I?
You're in Florida, man.
I was, yeah,
Not to be confused
Mm-hmm.
with Colorado, man.
yes.
Not to be confused.
There were lots of men in Speedos,
Mm-hmm.
but all the Speedos were patriotic. I can show you pictures.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm honestly good with that. I'll take your word for it. They were all patriotic. I'm good.
Do you remember the Borat movie?
Yeah, send them to Davey. Send all those to Davey.
Davey saw them. The suspender Speedos.
Yeah, I know what they are.
Yeah, they were very patriotic, mostly naked men. It was interesting. There was also some very mostly naked women as well. So it was a whole thing.
Was there a naked section, or was they just mingling around?
Intermingling with the crowd.
Intermingling with the crowd.
Yeah, eating cotton candy with the
kiddos. So you just more than doubled ticket sales for next year by saying.
There was a lot of like tatas, male and female tatas.
Was there an award given for the person who had come from the longest distance?
No, we don't want people from outside.
Okay. Well, I meant
that would be inside
Florida.
the state from the
like somebody
distance?
From Key West or somebody from Pensacola or
no. Not that I wasn't there the whole thing to the bitter end.
And just for the record, how many lawnmowers were driven to the event?
Oh, the lawnmower. There were so many lawnmowers. And people were like hot rodding through the crowd, like spinning donuts on lawnmowers. It was a lot. It was a lot. They had like the old aviator goggles from the 40s and the suspenders and like, it was...
I'm not sure Kenny's idea is a good idea for St. John's County.
No, not beads.
I know it's a great idea for New Orleans.
Pure Life gave out beads last year. They had just beaded necklaces last year. They didn't bring them this year, but they gave me like armfuls of beaded necklaces to hand out. So I made sure nobody flashed me their boobs. They're like, what do I need to do for the necklace? I was like, just take it. Please don't flash me.
As you're wearing a shirt with the number 69 on it. I'm sure that all went over incredibly well.
No. Yeah. I'm all talk. I don't need to see it. You keep it to yourself.
Oh, man. So hopefully I've invited Pete on whenever he recovers and he's good. So we'll get the full rundown in the skinny from Pete.
That's pretty awesome.
When his voice returns and he doesn't sound like he's in middle school. He did sound just like middle school.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Gone straight through horse to squeaky.
It was just awesome. It was awesome. Okay. A few other things did happen over the weekend. We got to get to Doge. We have our Doge questions for the week.
Doge.
So we got to get to that. Any comment on the Trump, Zelensky, JD Vance encounter on Friday? I was so glad I was on the golf course. And people were texting me, and I'm like, I'm on the golf course. I'm not answering this text. I'm not looking at this text. I got nothing.
My last Florida man thing is that I found my flip phone. And before I left, I made sure to go talk to OMG It's Wix.
Yes.
And he signed my flip phone.
Oh, that's so cool.
So I got a picture with OMG It's Wix, and he signed my flip phone.
I hope that he's just a really cool guy because he's got
so sweet.
Such a great personality on Instagram.
He's so sweet.
Yeah, he
talks to everybody. He gives you all the time in the world.
Yeah,
like I tagged him. I took a picture of that phone and I tagged him in it on Facebook. People are still liking and commenting on that picture. He did too. He's a sweet guy.
Really, really fun. The stuff that he does, and it's really cool. And I got it on my flip phone. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Next year I'll have to bring there's probably 7 flip phones up in a box up there from the old days.
He forgot his own flip phone.
Did he? I'll sell him one next year.
They were trying to take this to him. Some of the Jimmy Jam volunteers were trying to take it to him so that he would have a flip phone. And I was like, well, I'm never going to see that thing again.
Yes.
But they never were able to get to him.
Okay.
So I was like, well, I'm going now. So just give it back to me. And he didn't keep it for the rest of the day. He was good. He signed it and gave it back to me.
I just think when people get to that, I mean, he's famous in his own way as an influencer and that.
Yeah.
And when they're cool, I just think that's awesome. It means they're really enjoying that and not kind of like lording it over everybody.
Yes. I got to see Susan Johnson. I got to meet Pete's brother.
Yep.
And his sister-in-law and niece. Got to meet the whole family. It was very cool.
And Jeffrey Earnhardt.
I didn't get to meet Jeffrey Earnhardt. He was there. So while I was holding up the antenna so that the mics worked for the lawnmower race, Jeffrey Earnhardt was in with Pete talking on the microphones that I was helping to make function by my height.
By your height.
I'm such an Amazon.
You are a pale, pasty white Amazon.
Very pasty white Amazon.
Who masqueraded as
slightly, I think I outweigh the Amazons even though they're 7 feet.
I think Louis got ripped off in that. When you came out in the wedding dress, could he tell where the dress ended and you started?
Well, so I wasn't naked as a dolphin trainer. I was wearing a one-piece bathing suit.
Yeah. The
So
excuses start.
I was incredibly tan everywhere except where the one-piece bathing suit was.
Yes.
So
You had to get a dress that looked like a one-piece bathing suit?
the parts he wanted to see out of the wedding gown glowed in the dark.
Okay. All right.
I was like, I assure you that's not just like some magic trick I'm doing. That's my actual skin tone.
Surprise.
He also thought I was blonde. I made a blonde joke and he was like, how are you going to make a blonde joke? I was like, I'm very brunette. I promise you. Like, I'm just working the sun. I'm not blonde. My hair is just bleached.
Did you watch any of the Oscars?
Of course not.
No.
Why would I do that?
I'm trying to find out what the ratings are because they kind
They
of
haven't
been,
released them
They
yet.
haven't. They've been creeping up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was just curious. But it's like I didn't know. I don't know a single movie. That
I know
was in
two
there.
things about what happened last night.
Okay.
And that's that Kieran Culkin, Macaulay Culkin's brother,
Yep.
won an Oscar, and he gave a very like pro-family speech
Yes.
that everyone in the like Christian conservative pro-life movement was like, this is what we need in Hollywood.
Yeah.
But he had talked about he had won an award, and he had said something about wanting a third baby, and his wife was like, okay, sure. And he was like, well, when can I have a fourth baby? And she's like, win an Oscar and then you get a fourth baby.
Oh.
And so he was up there and he was like,
I'd have been
I'm ready for
proud.
3 and 4.
Yes.
And so they were talking back and forth to each other. It was very cute.
Yeah.
And then some chick from Dancing with the Stars, I guess, opened her red carpet coverage
Yep.
with acknowledging the rightful ownership of the land that they were standing on, and named a bunch
Belonged
of
to Ben and Jerry's.
indigenous tribes. And it's like, we want to acknowledge it, but you're still there in your $10,000 dress. You're not giving back the land. So like, it kind of feels like saying, oh, see your land? I'm going to have a big party on it with all my billionaires. Like I know what they were trying to do, but it seemed
Was
really
Selena Gomez still
icky.
crying, I wonder.
I don't know.
Whenever you show up like that and it's just, and then they're remaking Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yes,
There was a
with
lot of-
Elphaba.
There was a lot of consternation about the outfit that she wore last night. So I
don't know.
I
I don't know what she wore.
for me, it's like, if it's coming out of Hollywood right now, almost all of it is like,
Yeah.
Taylor Sheridan didn't write it. I don't know if I'm watching. I'm on it, Taylor
I
Sheridan.
just heard someone like draw a line between all of the stars that got divorced because they fell in love with their co-stars on a Taylor Sheridan
There's a few.
TV. There's at least 3.
There's at least 3.
There's at
At
least
least
3.
He might be one of them.
I don't
There's at
know.
least 3. I saw his
So,
name mentioned in
Like the
that.
shows might be great, but I don't know if the environment's too
I'm
great.
not sure.
Not Kieran McCullen's
No.
speech. It's not Family Values. I can tell you that.
And 1923 came out last night, episode 2, which is pretty good.
Are you having a good season?
I'm enjoying it. It's a little slower. It's kind of a setup show. It was a welcome back, then the setup. So that
Yeah.
was good. And then White Lotus has been something people are watching on HBO.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't watch season 1, but I did watch bits and pieces of season 2. It was okay. It was entertaining. Season 3, if they don't pick up the pace, I'm just going to use it to go to sleep at night. I'm just going to turn
What
around and go to
show?
sleep. White Lotus.
White Lotus?
It has
You're not
just
liking
been
it?
so boring.
Yeah.
They're at a resort where they're trying to like calm you down and get in touch with your feelings and your chakras and all this stuff. And I'm like, just put me to sleep.
So boring.
Just
They
let me
need to
go to sleep.
rename it Pasty Lotus.
I don't know. It just is not. It's like, wow. I'll just go to sleep. So I'm
Yep.
hoping it picks up a little bit. It did get better in the last one. So yes, we'll see what happens. All right, we got Doge. We got to
We
do
got
Doge.
Doge.
Yes.
Answer your 5 questions and get fired, yo.
That's right. If you don't answer Doge questions, you will not be allowed on the show.
Yep.
So yes,
Is
give
that
us
why
some.
you're not going to be here tomorrow night?
Give us some feedback. No, I've got planning and zoning. This is a 1-hour commitment on a Tuesday night. Planning and zoning is at least a 5 to 6 or 7 hour commitment on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be here.
Yeah.
I love doing my civic duty and I enjoy that board, but it's a commitment.
It's a long meeting.
It's a long meeting.
I think Davey disagrees with your assessment of White Lotus.
Davey, we will talk a week from Tuesday. We'll have a whole nother show for me to have fallen asleep through. So we will definitely talk about this.
Right.
I love.
Do I need to be the tiebreaker?
I love being the difference in entertainment with Davey because he always has such a different opinion. I love it.
Davey and I are so excited to talk about a movie, and you come in and you just take a dump on it. A big steaming
last
dump.
time I'm the guy that was optimistic about The Courtesan, which I didn't think I would like.
I
and
know,
Davey's
you were
the
actually
one. I
pretty-
didn't like the movie.
I know, Davey was pretty
I didn't
poo-pooey
like
about
the
it.
movie.
And you were the one that actually kind of, like, were into it. It was
Davey's
pretty
shoulders slumped, his head went down, he rolled his eyes,
It wasn't his
made
thing.
a face, and then said, I didn't like it. Oh, man.
funny. He would not be part of Venice doing her, evidently.
Tim O'Neill was in Puerto Rico this weekend, and who did he see on Puerto Rican television?
Pete
but
Melfi
Pete Melfi.
and the Florida Man
So
games.
I would
All
say
right.
international, but
Get
Puerto
it.
Rico is part of the United States, so it wasn't quite international.
Almost. So
Almost.
close.
So I'm like the cusp of being international, but not quite.
Just the tip.
Just the tip, Pete. All right. What is the weirdest, toughest day of the week? Most people answer Monday. Is there any day in the week other than Monday that you go, I just think this is the day that's always kind of tough for me?
Monday is my longest day
Yep.
because I teach the whole class, all 6 subjects, with teenagers every Monday. And we get into a lot of, so it's the most exhausting. I don't know if it's the weirdest. The weirdest for me would probably be Saturday because I got 3 kids. I never know what's planned and I never know what's coming. And when we're all unscheduled,
Yes.
then that's when like weirdness is going to happen.
Yes.
So I'd say Saturdays is my weird day.
So for me, usually it's a day when I look at my calendar and have anything on the calendar. I'm like, oh, this is
That's
great.
what I'm saying about Saturday.
I'm going to get work done today.
Yeah.
And man, does that day hit back hard
Mhm.
for me just thinking that. But Tuesdays, first Tuesday of the month, Planning and Zoning Board, definitely a long.
That's your weirdest day?
It just hits hard. I can never keep up getting everything done before the meeting. And then when I get out of the meeting, I'm like 200 emails
Toast.
down and a bunch
Yeah.
of phone calls down. I'm like, man, Wednesday is just going to be rough catching back up.
Oh, do we need a 5th question? I've got a 5th question.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And I think Tim O'Neill is sending pictures
Ooh.
of Florida Man on Puerto Rican TV.
Nice.
First of all, I'm just proud of you, Tim, for not watching fight porn the entire time that you were there.
Wow.
Yeah. There's Pete Melfi
On the Florida Man games.
on Puerto Rican TV.
That's hilarious.
I didn't even know Tim had that. The last time I was there was like Backyard Fights version 75. So yeah, it was crazy. All right. Which is worse in St. Augustine in March? So pollen, traffic, or winter hanging on? Pollen, traffic, or which is the worst thing in St. Augustine right now? Pollen, traffic, or winter hanging
So
on?
I don't have allergies and I'm not nitpicky about my car being spotless. So pollen is a mild annoyance for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind winter as long as it's killing the mosquitoes. If it's not killing the mosquitoes, then pound sand, get out of here.
I got bit by a mosquito the other night in the backyard.
We had one in our house.
Yeah.
Like I was walking out of the house and one flew past my head and I'm like, son of
Yes.
Ugh.
Not already. It's not even March.
Well, it was like 55 degrees when I left, and the mosquito was like, it's warmer in here. It goes into my house. I think, I don't know. So I'm going with traffic.
Traffic you're going with?
Yeah, because it's about to be bike week, and that's chaos personified.
I think all of it's kind of tied together. So when I'm in traffic and the people don't have pollen all over their car, I just feel like if I can't see where they're from, it's like you're not from here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the pollen it's been bad this year, but traffic has been far worse. And traffic today I heard was just miserable trying to get from point A to point B.
It's crazy because they shut down 95 for the road rage incident. There was like a whole thing.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah,
and I was on 95 today.
There was 95 South was shut down because there was like a road rage thing. Someone pulled a gun. It was a whole thing. Got into an accident. It was a whole thing.
What time was this?
It had to have been in the morning because I was on the phone with my husband just before lunch and he told me about it. He saw it on Facebook.
So I had to run up to Jacksonville to pick something up. And it was up and just come back. And on the way up, the traffic going south on US 1 was crazy.
Yeah.
And they had some of the US 1 reduced down to one lane, which made it even worse.
Yeah.
So on the way back, even though my phone told me it was the same distance going 95 and I went 95 to World Golf Village and then got off, but it took like 17 light cycles to get onto US 1.
Dude.
It was like,
yeah, because they shut it down.
Yeah. So, and then once I got on US 1, it wasn't bad. So, okay. So now we know. All right. What is the worst award show on TV? This should be a unanimous from the listeners of this show.
So the VMAs and the Grammys, I would say, are probably the most fun because the outfits are the craziest.
Okay.
SAG is the most self-indulgent, I would say, because it's
You're doing great. Keep going.
Actors
love this.
Awarding actors.
Yes.
Golden Globes. By the time we get to the Oscars, it's like everyone's already like eye rolling the thing. So yeah, I would say SAG is the most self-indulgent.
I have to agree with you. I want to know what Davey thinks though.
Yeah.
Country music, Kenny, I got to disagree. The country music one's like the only one I can watch.
Yeah.
Because you don't know, they'll bring in artists from other genres and they do a lot of duets and different things. And there's some really cool stuff that comes out during that.
They still kind of do the country music artist will kind of do like little skits and they seem like they're having fun with it.
Yes.
A little more than they're just so self-important on the Oscars and SAG and the Golden Globes and
Guy showing his firearm to people, then getting chased by police.
That's why 95 got shut down.
And overturned his truck.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank goodness he wasn't leaving Florida Man games when all that happened.
Yes. He was heading south. So.
Heading south. Okay. So we got Worst Awards TV show. We did that. Best moment from the Florida Man games for you. The best moment. And those of you that went, comment your best moment in Florida Man games.
My best moment was Lot Lizard Association with Davey, because Davey and I were just like being silly together, even though it was like the hottest, worst part of the day weather-wise. But that was just a lot of fun being with Davey, getting to see everybody. I loved getting to see all of like meeting Sherry and got to see Barbara Jean in the wild.
Yeah.
Got to see Bobby in the wild. That was fun. Just like seeing everybody and getting to spend some time with everybody.
Yeah. I for me, it was driving by at 4:30 in the afternoon and seeing how many people were there.
Yeah.
And how crowded the parking lot was. I thought it was just awesome.
Yeah.
That was the only moment I had, but it was a good one. I'm going to go scour social media a little bit this week, and you should go to, I mean, there's a lot on there about the Florida Man game, so you should go look at that up. And I really hope that there's a whole documentary released on this thing.
I have never heard the word bong water said so often.
Do you serve bong water here?
They do at the Florida Man games.
I would love to kind of see some of that. I think it's absolutely awesome. I'd much rather watch a documentary on Pete Melfi than anything Meghan Markle or Housewives is doing, because Pete is relevant to my life and the others are not.
Yes.
So I'd much rather see Pete in that situation. Barbara Jean, that's 79 compliments. I've been counting.
That might be a little bit of a misogynistic moment, right? You would rather see a dude than all these other chicks you just listed? Wow.
Well, that's because Pete doesn't give me a headache.
Misogyny.
The other, I'll just keep piling on. If I'm digging the trench, I'm going to dig one deep. Yes.
That's the tea.
Oh, man. When Pete tossed the hurricane brawler out of the grocery store. Oh, man.
Perp walk. Watching him get perped walk.
Yes.
After all the talk about like rolling a J and drinking the bong water, I'm surprised it took that long for him to be perp walked out.
Yes.
Like, I'm old, so like I come from a time when weed is illegal, and it still feels like that's not something you talk about in front of police officers.
So the police officers have a meeting before this event goes on to discuss protocol and things that they're going to look out and they had to be like, okay, anything that's inappropriate, you're tone deaf for that sentence. So you have to think they practiced showing no reaction and being tone deaf to some of the things. They probably even brought Pete in and said, say some of the things you're going to say so we won't start laughing outrageously, so we know what it's going to be. So.
Yeah, I kept watching for their reaction, and they weren't like cringing or twitching or anything. So I'm like, okay, well, no one's arrested yet.
Yes.
Yes.
I want to know how many dumpsters there were, Bobby. That was a lot of people.
I didn't see the dumpsters. I saw the lovely loos, and I went past the bathrooms, and I saw a lot, but I didn't go into the vendor area because my spot was right before the vendor area. So I never got a chance to go in there. I was between the tickets, the game ticket table, and the volunteer table in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So I never got to see what vendors were there. Someone was selling this necklace there because someone was like, I almost bought that. And I was like, Amazon? And she was like, no, at the table over there.
Yes.
Well, it's on Amazon too.
Tone deaf and nasally deaf. Bobby. God, I could never forget walking out in the front yard during the Bob Dylan concert at the amphitheater. And I was like, wow, I hope I don't randomly drug test on my own company tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I texted Troy, he was at the concert. I'm like, okay, how close is it? He said 1 to the left and 2 to the right. He didn't even tell me front row, back. He just 1 left, 2 right. That was close enough. So yes.
Well, there were people that walked past me that it was like, well, you went to the Cure Life booth. That's going to take about 5 minutes for that to dissipate. That's pretty strong. And going up to people's car, because Davey and I had to walk up to people's cars and talk to them through their window. And it rolls down as Cheech and Chong in there. It's like, holy moly.
Davey,
Yoy.
You're not supposed to look in the back of the pickup truck. You don't know that living here in Florida for that long. You don't look in the back of the pickup truck.
They weren't laying in it. They were sitting on the bulkhead of the bed of the truck and half down each other's throats. It was a lot.
So they were committed.
Sure.
They were committed to the kiss.
If it was the other way around, they would look like lizards
faking it.
Breeding.
They weren't
Holy
faking
moly.
it. All right. You have a Doge question.
I do have a Doge question.
What
I contributed. Ha ha ha. Where does your email inbox sit? Are you it has to be 0 or I have anxiety guy? Or is it always packed with some number of emails?
Well, I always in the back of my mind know that I have about 30 or 40 that are at the bottom. That I'm like, okay, I got to deal with that eventually, but it's not critical, but I don't want to lose it. So I keep it in the unread mode.
Yeah.
Typically I'm somewhere between maybe 70 and 150. But Thursday afternoon I was driving out of Lakeland, so they piled up. Friday all day I was playing golf. So that's 2 days. So I was north of 300 and then all the junk that comes in on Saturday. When I sat down Saturday night and Sunday morning to kind of deal with some of it, I got it slightly under control this afternoon. Tomorrow we'll blow it all back up again because of planning and zoning.
My 0 is 150.
Oh, wait a minute. Davies is 0.
Of course Davies is 0.
Oh,
of course it is. And so is Clay Blaster's. Because I'll clean out my email inbox.
Yes.
And like I said, my 0 is 150.
Yeah.
Because there's things that you have to deal with. There's things that you say, whatever. And so then I'm just going through and I'll okay, I don't need that. So I'll click each email to, okay, I'm going to send this to the red box. And he's like, why are you clicking them all? I'm like, because there's some things I need to save. And he'll sit there in the tech room with me in between services and I'll be click, 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 click. And he's like, you're driving me insane. It bothers him so much because I individually click them and I don't delete them. I send them to red. And so I legitimately deleted a couple hundred emails today.
Yeah.
And I need to text Clay. See, he's not watching. So I need to text him today to be like, I deleted about 500 emails today. My inbox was 2,700.
Well, Kathy says hers 6,000.
Yeah.
My thing is I have all my project managers copy me on what they're sending out to subs and owners so I can keep up on the job. So I'm reading all my emails. I'm reading their emails. I'm doing show prep for this. So there's a lot of emails that I have to deal with during the course of the day.
I have 5 emails because I have so many jobs.
Yeah.
And I have an email for every job.
Are there 2,700 in each one of them?
No. So there's this show has an email address that I monitor. And that one's got the fewest. That's the closest to 0 because 4 days a week I have that email open to deal with it. And so that's going to get dealt with. My homeschool stuff, I have to deal with that because I have parents asking me questions and kids asking me questions. So that one is not as close to zero as the Mike Davis show one, but it's closer.
It's on auto-delete. It's an auto-delete setting.
It's not. None of I don't delete emails because I've had lots of experiences where I need an email from 5 years ago.
Yep.
And so I put them in the red folder. My church email is on an auto answer because I only check that one once a week. So it's like, I will reply to your email on Sunday. If you need an answer before that, text me.
Are you email bragging?
It
sounds like you're email bragging.
I don't want this many emails.
It sounds like you're email bragging.
And then I have the one that I've had since I was
humble bragging,
13,
email bragging. Yes.
Because I clearly have a problem giving up stuff, but that's the one that I give all organizations. So that's the one that gets spammed. That's the one that had 2,700 emails in it today.
Yep.
I got it down to 1,400 before I came here.
That's just a massive just delete.
Well, it's like there's maybe a half dozen to a dozen people that are important that email me in there.
Yeah.
Semi-regularly. But I also have because it's the one that I give to stores and organizations, it has all the spam.
Yeah.
And so I was going through and I was unsubscribing to all of the random email lists that you get added to.
Yep.
Ugh. It took me unsubscribing to Marco Rubio's email 7 times.
167 is what I'm at.
Part of why I don't.
I'm striking distance of being in good shape right now. 167 is the number.
I have 171 in Mike Davis, but that's only because Rumble sends me multiple emails for every show.
Thank goodness you get those.
So yeah, I get those, not you. I'm at 1,400 with my personal email, and then I'm somewhere around 200 in my homeschool email. And yeah, it's a lot.
All right. I don't know what they're doing tomorrow morning. I'm not responsible for it.
There are no shows this week.
There's no shows this week.
Mm-hmm.
I now know because Amanda knows. There's no shows this week except our show. Tomorrow, the amazing, the well-rested Davey will come in and join Amanda.
Yes.
Making him the second person that worked Florida Man Games to work on the network.
And Kenny, if you can find me on OnlyFans, that'll be news to me, and I better start getting checks. Good luck trying to find me because I ain't there, buddy.
Where do you think Troy got all the money to put on Florida Man Games?
If I was on OnlyFans, then Blake would have outed me long time ago.
Blake would have outed
I'm just saying.
That's so true. Oh my gosh, that's so true.
Ask Blake if I'm there.
Oh yeah, you guys.
I double dog dare you.
All right, Davey, have fun tomorrow. I'll be at Planning and Zoning, Amanda, and we'll see you guys. Have a great night. Thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.